In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to master your song in a few steps. We're going to be taking this song from sounding like this to sounding something like this.
He switched them off like a light. Cousin Tomboy, simply the best. Not Tina Turner, cause your cousin read it from the chest, straight from the bomb. Used to knock him out, he held up the title.
Open a new session and just drag and drop your mixdown file into the project. The first thing that you have to do is set the tempo, and I'm going to be showing you why it's important that you set the correct tempo of your song. So set your tempo right here. Look for the loudest point of your mix. In most cases, you can choose the chorus part of the mix. So for this particular song, I'm going to choose this part right here. Make a loop somewhere right here and make sure that this is just activated in blue so that it can loop. Let me just play this part so that you listen to what we're dealing with.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us Eastwood you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any robbers.
The first thing that we're going to add, or the first plugin that we're going to add to this, is basically just a corrective EQ. So what I'll do is come here, so I'll simply click on the master. This master here is the same as this master right here. So I'm basically just coming to my master here, and the first plugin that I'm going to add under insets is Pro Q3. So we're going to use Pro Q3 to kind of take out some of the unwanted frequencies and just control the balances when it comes to the frequencies. Let me just take it back to this point so that it can loop. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do on this EQ is simply cut off some of the low end. So I'm going to change this to side. Then just make sure that this is this curve. Then I'll set this to 18. And then just take it all the way to 50. And I'm going to make another low cut right here. Then I'll set the same type of slope. This is going to be at 20 Hz. Let's set this to mid. So I'm basically cutting off a little bit of the mid frequency on the low end, just to make sure that the low frequency is properly contained.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud.
So it's not too much, but it feels a little bit contained in the low end. Let's move on to finding some of the unwanted frequencies here, and we're going to use this feature by Pro Q3, and this is the reason why I like Pro Q3. So I'm basically going to hold the spectrum here so that it can help show me some of those spots that are going off what is acceptable. So let's just play that.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals. He was the cruiserweight, iron mic, power like dynamite. ABA finals, he switched them off like a light. Cousin Tomboy, simply the best. Not Tina Turner, cause your cousin read it from the chest, straight from the bomb. Used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud.
So what I'll do is change this to stereo. And just make sure that I set everything to -1.5.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals.
Alright, so that sounds great for me. The next thing I'm going to do is add a de-esser. Set this all the way to about 15. Then here I'll leave it at 7. And make sure that I set the range to 3 dB. Then I'll simply take the threshold all the way down here.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud.
So we've cleaned up the sound by leveling some of those frequencies that are popping out, and we've also dealt with the S sounds. It sounds a little bit stable, but now we need a little bit of consistency in terms of the dynamic range so that we can just glue the entire mix together. So we're going to use a compressor to achieve that. Alright, so for this compressor, what we're going to do is set the style right here to mastering, set the ratio to 2, and then we can leave this gain right here at auto. We're also going to set the attack and the release. So this is where now your BPM plays a very big role. So what we're going to do is calculate what these values right here would be. Pull up a calculator here So what I'll do is 60,000 divided by the BPM, which is 93 here. Then just divide this by 4. I'll divide this by 4 again. Then divide it until I start getting some smaller values. So this is 10. So what I'll do is put this 10 milliseconds on the compressor here. Then I can start multiplying it again to get it to somewhere around 100 and something for the release. So I'm basically going up. So I'll multiply this by 4, multiply this by 2, multiply by 2. So when you are multiplying, basically just multiply in multiples of 2. So you can multiply by 2, you can multiply by 4, depending on the value that you want to land on. So this is 161 milliseconds, so I'll put it here. So now we've got values that match with the BPM of the song. So basically what we're going to do now is play around with the threshold until we see that we're getting something like -3, -4 dB gain reduction here. We should open up this the sidechain section here and then just switch this on to make sure that our compressor doesn't affect too much of the low end. So I'll set this to 200.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals. He was a cruiserweight, iron mic, power like dynamite.
Okay, so this is about -3.5 dB of gain reduction, and that sounds great. Alright, so this is it for the compressor. Let's just now move on to some saturation and just try to add some character to the song. So we're going to use a plugin called Certain by FabFilter, this right here. And what I'm going to do is simply push this until I start feeling some kind of warmth and character in my song.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals. He was a cruiserweight, iron mic, power like dynamite. ABA finals, he switched to morph like a...
Alright, I think that sounds great, but I feel I should split it here up to about 1500 and just push this band a little bit to boost and add a little bit of brightness.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals. He was a cruiserweight, iron mic, power like dynamite.
Alright, that sounds great. Just going to do a little bit of low level compression. So in this case, I'm going to use a compressor by Waves, which is MV2 right here. And for my mastering, I like to push it maybe anything not more than 1.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals. He was a cruiserweight, iron mic, power like dynamite. ABA finals, he switched to morph like a light.
Alright, I think at this point it sounds great. So I'm just doing a little bit of the low level boost and just leave it at this point. I'm going to add Soothe. And I'm going to set to this preset here. It's called De-essing the master. I like this preset for my master because it helps kind of control some of those S's and make my mix down sound a little bit clean. So I usually just set this to 2.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals.
So basically that's it for Soothe. And then the last plugin on the chain is a limiter. Now we're going to push this song to the standard loudness. So what I'll do is put a limiter by FabFilter Pro L2 right here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is, in most cases, you find it something like this. So what you have to do is simply click here and set it to loudness so that it can give you a loudness meter on this side. So the loudness that we're going to be aiming for is about -7.5 LUFS. So what I'm going to do now is simply push this gain knob right here and just make sure that I'm not going beyond -7.5 here.
Bomb used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals. He was a cruiserweight, iron mic, power like dynamite. ABA finals, he switched to morph like a light. Cousin Tomboy, simply the best. Not Tina Turner, cause your cousin read it from the chest, straight from the bomb. Used to knock him out, he held up the title belt. Every one of us sees what you did, all the family proud. First Eastwood to win a pro title. Calm before his fights, never feared any rivals.
Alright, so I think that sounds great. So this song is now at the level where it is ready and at the standard loudness that can be played in clubs, can be uploaded to any streaming platform. And at this point now, you can just go through and listen to the entire mix and see how these settings affect your mix. And then as you listen to that, you can be adjusting some of these settings right here. So if I play this,
Cousin Tom, I can't believe that you're gone. A legend from Epsom, your name will live on. Live on. Number one, that be Creamy's boy Tom. When he stepped in the ring, a heart of a lion. Punching the bags with his fist, he was deadly. I watched him on the pads in the gym with Les Savvy. Junior McDonald said he couldn't punch, but Tom was ready. Knocked him on the canvas like Nas with Kevin Kelly. Big cruiserweight, number one.
So I think that sounds great. And one last thing we're going to do is basically just automate our output here. So starting from the beginning here, I think it's important you just zoom in and make sure that this song starts something like this. It starts a little bit quiet, then just transitions into this, something like that. Then we're going to do the same at the end of the song right here, somewhere here, so that it ends like this. Alright, so once that is done, you can just select your entire song like that, then press P on your keyboard to make sure that this is from the beginning to the end, and export. So let's take a look at some of the settings when it comes to exporting. This is where you just give it a name, select the folder where you want to export this song and simply just save. Then come to file type. You can export either WAV or MP3. So in my case, I'll try to export MP3. Then just make sure that you've clicked high quality mode and make sure that the bitrate is all the way at 320. And then export as interleaved right here is stereo format here. So make sure that this is set to interleaved. Then you can simply just export right here. Let's bring it into the mix and just take a look at the differences visually. Alright, so this is our mix down right here before it was mastered, and this is our final mastered version right here. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and click that post notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. See you in my next video. Peace.